everyone's first video is terrible. Expect your first video to make you not want to watch it and to be cringeworthy and painful, even like a couple of weeks after you've uploaded it, because, I mean, it's a skill. It's like riding a bike. Nobody can ride a bike the first time, right? You end up having to build that up, and because also it's you on your own, you're going to be making mistakes, and you're going to take a while to find your voice and to be comfortable on camera and to know what kind of stuff you want to talk about. It took me like a year before I started talking about political and social stuff. And so you're not going to be able to get it straight away. You're not going to be able to understand what you really want to do immediately. But just put stuff out there. Because who cares if somebody doesn't watch it at the beginning? If you start finding the things that make you laugh, or the things that you find engaging, and the things that you enjoy doing, then you're going to start creating your own community around you. And if you enjoy what you're doing, then people will be able to see that and will want to join you on that journey. So my advice for anybody who wants to start, and I would encourage everybody to start vlogging, like even if you are terrible, and even if it's on an iPhone, and even if it's just on your laptop, I would encourage everybody to start vlogging, just because it can sometimes become a life-changing experience, and if at worst you've had a laugh, and just have a laugh, enjoy yourself. If you are looking to start vlogging, these are the things that people will tell you you need to have. So everybody who I know who vlogs like semi-professionally has a DSLR camera. They are super expensive. They'll cost anything between like 600 to a couple of grand, depending on what brand it is and how good it is. Second-hand ones are a little bit cheaper, but I certainly didn't have that amount of disposable income when I was younger, even though I was working double shifts at the local pub. A G7X is like a smaller camera that people use when they're doing travel vlogs, because you can easily carry it around. Audio is really important, because even if the video looks amazing, if you have crackly and pitchy audio, everyone's going to click away because it just hurts your ears, and nobody wants to listen to something that is unpleasant to listen to. So I would first of all invest in really decent audio, and then work around all of the visual kind of side of things. Most people will use Rode mics because they're very well compatible. They're very easy to make compatible with stuff like DSLRs and other simple cameras. And if you want something a bit more high tech, then you can use a multi-track recorder, which use these kind of things, these kind of lapel mics. And a lot like standard microphones and those kind of things. They're a lot more professional, but if you want to be more professional, then you can invest in one of them. Lighting, so they always say 3-point lighting is the best, so that involves having one principal light there, which is your brighter light, a dimmer light there, which kind of like creates a contrast between both sides of your face, and then a backlight so that you actually have kind of like almost a silhouette and a halo. There are loads of tutorials of how to do lighting properly, but people will often use box lights or LED lamps at varying professional levels. But like I said, there's loads of stuff online that you can find out how to do it properly. You can actually get a couple of box lights and then use like a window as your third light. You can get box lights second hand for about 50 quid, which is like alright, and your lighting and your audio are definitely more important than having a flashy camera. Most people will get a flashy camera first and then have no idea how to light a video, and it will still look terrible. So learn how to use mics and lights first, before you kind of foray into forking out a couple of grand for a really fancy camera. That said, I very rarely use any of them. Most of the time I will use a MacBook Pro, and I will use a north-facing window at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with like some reasonable light, and it looks fine. If you go through and watch my videos, you can't really tell a huge amount of difference between the one that's shot really professionally with a DSLR and one of the ones that I've got on my laptop. And that's because I've learned how to use the audio properly, and how to make sure it's not pitchy, and make sure it's lit nicely. And that is kind of like anybody can make it. And even an iPhone these days is actually alright. Because there's so much technology packed into these things now. If you have decent lighting, you could have a half-decent vlog if you light it properly as well. So don't let technology be a barrier, and don't let it be an excuse either. Because I've met a lot of people who are like, oh, I can't afford a camera, so I can't start vlogging. Yeah, you can. Get off your arse and start doing it.